Getting out for a dive while I've been here in America has proven difficult. My whole plan was to rent a camper or a car, drive around and go spearfishing, but I managed to misplace my license before I came here, and I've ordered a new one, but it's taken ages to get here. But fortunately for me, on this trip, I was saved by a subscriber who lives in Florida, and he invited me down to his place and took me out to go spearfishing. G'day everyone, welcome back to another video. Well, I finally made it to Florida, and I actually met a Kiwi guy in New York, and his name's Kerry as well, and he invited me to come down and stay with him, and he's also teed up for today for us to head out with him and his mate Brian in this awesome boat down here. So we are about to jump on that. I'm going to get suited up. We're about to jump on that and head out, get into some Florida diving. Cross our fingers for a good day. The weather's looking mint.
Do you want this to stay like dry?
Yeah, ideally.
I'll just put them in there. Yeah, hey, this is Brian Butler. Welcome to Cape Coral, Florida.
Hey, this is Kerry Singleton. I actually work with Brian, and yeah, coming out today with the guys.
And yeah, Kerry's a expat Kiwi who's made Florida his home, and he's been so awesome to organise all this for me, so thanks Kerry.
No worries, you just need to find us some fish now.
No pressure, eh? So we headed out from Brian's place down the canals to head out to the open ocean, and on the way there was carnage everywhere. A couple of months ago, Hurricane Ian had just hit this centre, and they were still in cleanup mode from it. So that's why there's boats sunk on people's lawns and docks wrecked.
So the actual Ian, which was a category 4, but we had category 5s, it's here of over 163 mile an hour. And the eye went right over us. So this is right where it happened.
Right.
It came right up. So we were actually kind of lucky because we're at 9 feet above sea level, and we had the lowest storm surge because there's a barrier island right there, and so our storm surge was 9 feet.
Wow.
But just a quarter of a mile both ways, the storm surge was 12 to 16 feet.
Wow. Alrighty, we have come out here. It is not looking very clean in the water, but I do have hope that there's just like a dirty layer on top, and when I go down it might actually open up underneath. But we're on a spot, we're gonna jump in, and fingers crossed we'll be able to see something.
It's warm. Yeah.
The water was not looking good. The visibility here is probably about 30 centimeters in front of my face, but I made a dive anyway, still hoping that it might clean up. But as I got deeper, it just got darker and darker until on the bottom it was black. It was around 9 meters deep here, and by the time I got to that depth, the silt in the water was blocking out all the light. So yeah, it was quite spooky diving down and just having it all close in. And obviously, there was no way I was going to be able to do any spearfishing here. So yeah, I did a couple more dives just to see if there was maybe some way I could make it work, and actually just enjoying being in the water. But yeah, it was obvious that I wasn't going to be able to go spearfishing, so ended up just climbing back on the boat. Well, that's not going to work. That was another fail. 2 from 2 so far, 2 from 2. So anyway, this has turned into a fishing trip now. So
Now we just have to catch some fish.
Yeah.
just have to catch some fish. We've got rods out. We've got a tank full of shrimp in here.
They're also sharing the same clean water as the dive you had.
Yeah. Water's just about as clean as the dive I had. And we'll see if we can catch a fish since we can't shoot one. Yeah. Yeah, good. All right, we decided to give up. We had like a few little nibbles on our bait, but no joy today, so we're giving up and we're going to run back in. All right, it's a new day. We are going for round 2. We have Kerry's little boat here.
If I can get it off.
If he can get it off. And we've got Tampa Bay out here. And we've also got, what's your name, bro?
Alex.
Alex. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
And Alex has a dive shop here in town, don't you?
Yeah, Adventure Outfitters just right up the street.
Awesome, awesome. So Alex is here to show us around and hopefully put us on some fish.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've been out here. It was a lot warmer when I went out, so it should be a lot better conditions. Hopefully there's a lot more fish.
Yeah.
Fat sheephead coming in. We can look around for stone crab as well.
Yeah.
White grunts. Gag grouper just closed, so
Yeah,
we can't
yeah.
even look at them. We might see some. Might even see a Goliath out there.
Oh, yeah,
There's a
that'll be
couple
cool.
wrecks. I've seen them in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, sheephead will probably be our main category we're shooting for, and then maybe some mangrove snapper.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we're out here. The water doesn't exactly look clear, but here's hoping it's better than yesterday. So yeah, we're gonna hop in here and have a look, and fingers crossed we can shoot some fish.
Are we far enough away?
All right.
The visibility wasn't great here, but at least I could see something. Finally, on the 3rd attempt to have a dive, I've finally got some visibility. So yeah, I dropped down here, and this spot has quite a few of these big steel plates. It's an artificial reef, man-made reef, and they've dropped these steel plates here. So I'm just cruising along, having a look around. Alex on his first drop had managed to shoot a fish, so I'm just cruising around looking for fish, and while I'm not seeing anything, I did notice that there are some mussels under some of these plates. So I asked Kerry if maybe we should grab some, and he said yeah, grab a few. We weren't really sure whether we'd be able to eat them at this point, so we just decided to take a few to take home and do a little bit of research later on. So I drop back down here and get to work on them. And they're actually reasonably tricky to get out. Just the way they're tucked in under the plates makes them quite hard to grab. But I work away at it. Managed to grab a couple out. My breath hold's not great at this point. This was the first sort of real dive I'd had in about a month and a half, so sort of got a bit rusty. So we didn't see any more fish in that spot, so we actually moved and we're diving now under a bridge, one of the bridges in Tampa Bay. So we're diving under the support structure for the bridge, and I find this school of fish, and they're kind of like a striped angelfish, but there's stacks of them in it, so I kind of watch them. I'm kind of hoping there might be a predator around. I grunt a little bit, just see if I can bring something in, and move around to the other side of the pier. But yeah, nothing really seems to be coming in on it, and these fish are just milling around in a big school. So back to the surface we go. And after a few dives in that spot, we decide that it's not really that fishy and we'll move on. Finally, we get to this spot, and it's kind of a jumble of old concrete poles and structures that have been pushed over the edge just to make some reclaimed land. And it's quite a decent drop off actually, and there's lots of holes and places for fish to hide. So we just slowly work our way down the ledge, and then I see this fish here, a sheep's head, one of our fish that we're really expecting to see. And I get it with a nice shot, head back to the surface.
Is it the end of the tail?
You can pitch the tail to the end of the tail.
Okay, he's 12.
So he's right on.
He's right on, he's 12.
Yoo-hoo! First,
Hell yeah.
first American fish. Yeah. Nice, thank you.
Right to there at the end on the 12 mark.
With that elusive first fish out of the way, I relax a little bit more, and now I can really start diving. As I've been diving throughout the dives, my breath hold's been getting better and I've been feeling a lot more comfortable. And so the idea here is I'm just dropping down, I'm looking under all of the concrete posts and everything, just trying to see any decent fish. There's plenty of smaller sheep's head around, but nothing that's of legal size. And this was kind of the way that I was working this spot, just a nice slow descent, keeping an eye out for fish. When you did see a decent one, they were pretty spooky, so you had to be pretty quick on the trigger. So a nice slow approach, trying not to spook all the fish. And yeah, on this dive I don't see any.
Sorry? Yeah, there's lots of little ones.
Now this dive, I'm working my way down, and under this pole here, I see a group of fish just parked up, and I can see one that's a reasonable size, so sort of drop down, get under, line them up, and get a shot into them. And it's not the greatest shot, but just kind of had to do it like that just because of where he was sitting, but it's another legal fish, and I'm pretty happy.
I think this one will be legal.
Hold on to it tight, is it? He is 13 inches.
Yoo-hoo! We're getting them.
Any luck?
I've got 2 so far.
Nice.
There's lots down there, but it's hard to find sized ones, eh?
Yeah, there's a lot right on the edge. I was just traveling on the north side over there, and there's a bunch in the same category. I saw one big one, but he swam in a rock and came out the other side.
Yeah.
A bunch of snook, you can't shoot, so.
As time wore on and the tide wore on, everything started to get a little bit more murky. It was pretty much just as Alex had said. After the high tide, visibility had closed in. So it's starting to get pretty bad here. But I carry on diving. I've seen quite a number of mangrove snapper. I really would like to get one. But they've all been pretty small. Now I did see one hiding under here that was a reasonable size on the previous drop. So flicked the camera on and dropped down, and I was kind of hoping I'd be able to shoot one under this beam here, but they're pretty smart here, and obviously when I looked at it the first time it must have taken off, so yeah, had to give up, and then it was time to go. Alright, we are back at the ramp, and we have fish. We ended up with 5 sheep's head between us. Here they are. Nice. And these guys are pretty interesting. They've got teeth like sheep, which is probably why they're called sheep's head. But yeah, we're going to get out of here now. We're going back to Kerry's place. We're going to clean up the boat and everything, and yeah, that was probably the last chance I had for diving on this Florida trip, so yeah, back to New York. All right, well, we've made it back to Kerry's place, and he's holding camera. But we've just been breaking down our sheep's head that we shot. So we've got the heads and we've got the frames. They're all cut up ready to make fish soup, and then we've got a nice little bowl of fillets here, which we're going to have for dinner. And yeah, they're pretty good. And these sheep's head, they're pretty cool, but they've got a mean set of teeth in them. Check that out. Yeah. I want to take the time to say a massive thank you to Kerry and family. Thank you guys for your awesome hospitality. I really enjoyed staying with you, and really hope I can return the favour next time you're in New Zealand. And I also want to thank Brian for getting me out on his boat, taking us out Cape Coral. Even though the viz was bad, that was really awesome to see. It was really cool to hear Brian talk about the hurricane and his experiences through that, and yeah, cruise down through the canals and see the damage. It's quite sobering really when you look at the power of Mother Nature. And I also want to thank Alex for coming out with us on the third day. That was Really awesome of you, Alex. And yeah, I'm actually going to leave a link in the description for Alex's dive shop if you're in America. Pop in, check it out. Family run business, really nice people. And yeah, if you need anything, head in and see them. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. But yeah, I'll see you in that next video. Cheers.